Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some of that storminess happening across the United States, including some storminess and severe weather down there for the south central and southeastern United States. And then we're going to take a look at some potential cooldowns later on down the road. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that we will close out the later portion of December also in a warmer pattern, or do you think that there is going to be a pattern switch at some point during December that brings us into a cold pattern? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Here we are taking a look at the entire United States, and as you can see, there's just a lot of storminess out there. We're taking a look at multiple different areas in particular, but one here for the Pacific Northwest, you can see that we definitely have some storminess moving on shore there to areas like Portland, Seattle, and the surrounding coastal regions there of Washington and Oregon, even in the form of snowfall there for a lot of portions of Washington State there, as you can see. We also have some snow showers lingering up here for the upper Midwest, particularly Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then the upper peninsula of Michigan there. That is going to move across the Great Lakes, potentially bringing some lake effect snowfall off of Lake Erie, maybe some other lakes as well. I know Lake Erie, because of the game tonight, Buffalo versus New England, I think there could be some lake effect snowfall there. I've been hoping for that because I like the Patriots and they have a better run game. That's something we could just, we don't have to get into that. That's not weather related, but definitely something that I am personally hoping for. We also see some snowfall up to here for Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York State starting up. It's actually quite heavy. Those brighter whites are indicating some pretty heavy snowfall that is already coming down. And then our general storminess here, you could kind of make out our cold front here. It's in this area, so temperatures in this region behind here, all of these areas, that is definitely experiencing colder temperatures, and we could tell because there's snow showers happening in Nebraska a little bit, up here in Wisconsin. Definitely some more potent cold air left over. But this cold front in here in particular is where we're seeing a lot of storminess. So I want to zoom into a couple regions. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but let's just zoom in here first off to the Pacific Northwest. Again, we are experiencing quite a bit of snowfall up here for northern Washington, or not even northern Washington, most of Washington actually, and even some eastern regions of Oregon. I always want to call the more inland states the western states because I'm so used to the east. So on the west, it's obviously the other way around, and it's hard for me to kind of go backwards on that. This definitely looks like a face right now. I just realized that. So that's pretty funny. There is some pockets of heavier precipitation offshore that will likely make their way onshore, but they're not there yet. That should be happening for you guys, probably very early morning. Right now it's 6 a.m. Eastern time, so I know it is very, very early there in the West. Let's give it a little zoom in here to the northeastern United States where we could take a look at what's going on up here. Definitely some mixed precipitation here for the Adirondacks earlier on that has switched over fully to rain. When you usually see these very heavy amounts near the mixing line, typically that means there is some sleet of some sort or maybe even rain mixing in, and the radar is just a little bit confused. But we've been seeing some solid snowfall here for a lot of these mountainous regions here of New England. This is an area that typically sees a lot of snowfall even when the surrounding regions do not, and that's really what we've been seeing. Outside of that, there is some areas of heavier precipitation that are moving generally northeastward here, there for western Pennsylvania and western New York, and then also for southern New England. That's going to continue probably to head northward, and I wonder if that will become snowfall eventually in this region if it continues to head in that direction. So there's many, many different things going on right now for that region. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at that storminess down here for a lot of the east, kind of inland eastern United States right now. We did have a tornado here for southern Illinois, actually. I believe it was southern Illinois. And the story I heard about that one is it actually happened on a river, and the people who reported it were on a boat. And I'm pretty sure it might have been like 10 p.m. or something. Could you imagine that? They're fine. They said that it dodged their boat, but apparently it crossed a river and narrowly dodged their boat, and it was nighttime. That's like the most terrifying thing I've ever heard, and I'm so glad they are okay. But you definitely have a cool story going forward, but definitely a close call there. We can tell there's definitely a very strong line of storms here moving through states like Arkansas, It's going to be moving through Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio as well. It's not quite as potent up here in Ohio and Pennsylvania. I think temperatures are a little bit cooler up there, and that's leading towards less thunderstorms and more just, moderate rainfall, pretty persistent. But it's this area down here further south where we're taking a look at a much more severe weather threat, I would say. Now, here is our categorical outlook moving forward for today. And as you can see, marginal risk here within the darker green. We do have a slight risk of severe weather here within the yellow as well, as that just updated as I'm recording. That's pretty weird. Let's move this on towards the tornado threat, and we have a 2% chance in that green region within 25 miles of a given location. Wind, we have a 5% chance within 25 miles of a given location there in the brown, and then a 15% chance there within the yellow. And then we only have a 5% chance of hail within 25 miles of a given location there within the brown. That's going to be exclusively for Texas and Louisiana as of right now. Now, for this segment of the video, I really want to focus in on our temperature anomalies and just how that's going to look over the next couple of weeks that we can see at this point. This is all according to our European model. As you can see, as of right now, actually, we do see some really warm temperatures here in the red. You can hardly see the line I'm drawing because everything underneath it is red. But there's definitely some warmth building in today. I know in Virginia, where I'm at, it is going to be in the 70s today. I mean, for December, I've seen that happen before, but still very shocking to see. It doesn't happen every year, let me put it that way. We do see a lot of this cold really is just, it's staying way, way, way up there in the north. We do see a couple pockets of it, down in Mexico, down in California as well. But outside of that, the warmth is definitely winning out as of right now. This is a positive AO. This is classic positive AO. All this cold air is stuck up there, and it is just building in. The snowpack is getting stronger. The ice is building in further in this region, and everything is just staying up there, quite frankly, where it belongs. But once we see that AO finally go positive and some warmer air builds in over top of it, we are going to see this force its way down into the United States, whether it's the west or the east or the central. Somewhere in the United States, this will eventually make its way down. And the longer this stays positive, the longer it stays up there, the more potent it is going to become. And that's something we're going to really need to watch for. All right, now we do see this force its way in. This does have to do with that cold front we talked about before that's building in right here that has brought some severe weather throughout these regions. That is that cold front, and we're seeing it really force its way through, as you can see, the cold air behind it as well. And as we play this a little bit further through, we can see this cold air does eventually make its way into the eastern United States, but still the most potent of that cold air is way up there in Canada. But we do see some of that pretty cold air making its way down through that region. In those greens, I would say we're at about, about 10 to 15 degrees below normal throughout all of those regions in there. Those purples and blues up here in Canada, though, that is where we're at about 15 to, 29 degrees below normal, it says here. So very far below normal temperatures up there. And generally out west, I mean, marginally warm out here, near normal. These yellows and oranges are going to be here on your scale at the bottom. So anywhere from about 1 to 7 or 9 degrees above normal there. So not too far above normal as compared to this colder air that's making its way in here, which is more like in your 10 to 15 degrees below normal there in the greens. So by the way, let me know what you think of this format. I think it makes it so easy, like being able to just explain what I just explained, being able to draw on the screen. That made it about a million times easier for me to show you guys what I'm talking about. So let me know what you think of this new format I'm trying. It is so much easier for me, like I said before. Now, as we play this out, 8 p.m. Wednesday, this is going to be on December 8th. We can see that this cold air is still around for the eastern United States. We can see it's mostly for this eastern third. But it is generally weakening. We see mostly blues in here, darker blues, maybe some darker greens. I would say 1 to about 10 degrees below normal. And out here, draw your attention out here. We do see some colder air making its way into the west, and that is where we are seeing that kind of negative PNA pattern build in. We still see some warmth out in this region. Some pretty warm temperatures, actually, more like 10 to 15 degrees above normal. But generally, that colder air is something we will want to watch there for the West Coast. And you can see that actually builds in by time we're reaching about 8 p.m. on Thursday, December 9th. We see this huge trough here centered over the west. This one in the east is really coming to an end, and we're seeing everything kind of move from west to east there. As you can see, that's how everything always progresses, west to east. So this warmth is probably going to head to the east or stay where it's at. This cold is going to move from west to east, offshore of the east coast. And typically this cold air, we do see it kind of hunker down for a little bit, but eventually this will either diminish or make its way also to the east. That's just how the weather typically works. And as I put it in motion, you see it happen. We see this trough really hunkering down here, still in negative P&A. This frame in particular, this is about 6 a.m. Saturday, December 11th. I mean, look at those temperatures here in the east. This is shocking. That's about, those brights are going to be anywhere from about 25 to 30 degrees above normal on. So this is what the high temperatures would look like on that frame. I mean, we have 60s and 70s throughout this entire region right here. Very, very warm compared to normal. That is crazy right there. Warmer temperatures really build in here. But as we put it in motion, this should move offshore. And eventually we do see that move offshore. And actually it gets replaced by colder air, as you can see, that same exact region that I drew out. But also, you'll draw your attention back west. Warmer temperatures have begun to build in for this region. And that's what's allowed for the cold air to make its way to the east. It's like clockwork. It happens every single time. And then as we move towards the extended range, this is when things get a little depressing here. 2 p.m. on Tuesday, December 14th, pretty much warm from west to east. The only cold air we see at any point here is going to be exclusively for the East Coast and New England, basically. And as we move this on a little bit further, it's a lot of the same. Again, the two coasts here, we do see some colder air here, generally in that very slight area, 1 to 5 degrees below normal maybe. But for this region, the warmer region here, we're seeing temperatures that are about 10 to maybe even 30 or more degrees above normal. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I talked about a lot of things that I wanted to talk about today. This new format I'm loving it so far. This is my second video doing it, but I'm able to talk about a whole lot more stuff, and I'm able to include a lot more people and just move through it really, really quickly. I can't believe I actually didn't do this years ago, but I'm loving it so far. I would love your feedback on what you're thinking of this new style. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers do it, and it's very similar also to how actual news stations do it as well, where they're able to actually draw on the screen and everything. This isn't an unheard of way of doing it, but I feel like it is a lot more advanced than what I was doing before, and it's much easier to get my point across to you guys as well. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'd be curious what you guys think of it. Now, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6 today. Again, still around that 50-50 confidence at this point. For today's comment of the day, nobody really answered my question, so I decided to pick this one that was a question. When will there be some cold shots for the Northeast, at least 10 degrees below normal? And it does look like after this cold front moves through, you could see some 10 degree below normal type amounts, but also once we see that P&A go a little bit positive in the more medium range, that could happen as well. But outside of that, it would be very brief. And as far as, long-term patterns that feature 10 degree below normal amounts for the eastern United States, it's really not foreseen at this point. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Lure the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Snit, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary Reese, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Kernenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I will see you guys in the next video.